Hey everyone, Adam C here. Thanks for watching. So it's been a little overdue from the last video I've done of the garage fish room. Got a lot of stuff going on out here, but I don't always show it because sometimes I think people wouldn't really be interested in seeing it, and other times it's just pure laziness. But a reminder, if you follow me on Instagram, at AdamCSolo on Instagram, you see a lot more of these fish. I show quite a bit more on Instagram than I do on YouTube. So if you don't follow me there, go ahead and check that out, and you'll get to see a lot more content of what I have. But today I'm just going to go through the garage fish room, show you what's in every tank going on out here, and let's get started. We'll go smallest tank to largest. First tank is this 20 tall. You probably think there's no fish in there, but if you look really closely, I've got about 25 Mylochromis plagiotania fry. It's the first group of fry I've gotten from the breeding group, but soon to come in this video you'll see more from the plagiotania. They're doing quite well. We won't focus too much on this because honestly you can't really see them. Next up is this 20 long. In here I've got 15 to 18 Tyrannochromis macrostoma. They're not very big, they're probably not even an inch yet, maybe 3/4 of an inch. But they're growing well in this one, in this 20 long. And I also have 6 or 7 Mylochromis spilosticus. You know, the significance of these Mylochromis spilosticus is it's the last ones that I will ever breed in my fish room. I've bred these guys for almost 2 years now, and I'm just kind of moving on from them. So these are the last 6 that I have remaining. And honestly, I don't even remember how I came up with these 6. Okay, so in this exceptionally dirty 40-gallon tank, I mean, I haven't cleaned this glass in like a year, if not longer. This tank normally doesn't get light to it. I normally don't have the lights on, so these guys are freaking out a bit. But the water quality is really good, so even though the tank looks terrible, it's perfectly healthy for them. But what I have in here are my Taniolethranaut Furcicauda yellow fry, bred in-house here. You guys have seen my male and female, they're in the 300. The male's over 10 inches now. You know, the females are 6.5 to 7 inch. They are wild. I'll put a picture here in the corner of these guys if you haven't seen them before. But these Taniolethranops, they're a nice hap for some people who like really large haps but don't like the aggression that can sometimes come with predator haps, because these guys are just big softies. They're very timid and they get very large. So these are cool fish. Like I said, 1 3/4, maybe 2 1/4 inches on these. And some of them you can see the yellow starting. This tank needs a cleaning big time. Moving on to another 40-gallon. I'm really happy with this tank and what's going on in here. In here I have 50 Tyrannochromis macrostoma. This is the first group of macrostoma that I've been able to breed in-house. These guys range from 1.5 to 2 inch. The very, very biggest ones are 2 inches. And they are growing incredibly fast in here. Before too long I'm going to move them into a 75 so they can continue growing. So 50 of those, and I also have, just like hanging out in the back, 4 Lichnochromis acuticeps, about 2.5 inch. These guys just don't love the lights, so when the lights are on they hang out in the back. But the macrostoma, I mean, they'll follow you wherever you go. The male of these guys, the breeding group, is really spectacular. I'll put a picture of him there, you can see. So these fish are going to be incredible when they get to full size. And they're really, really difficult to come by, so I'm quite happy to have this group here. I'm probably going to end up keeping most of them just to bolster my group up and see kind of how nice they turn out. Here is the 75 that you guys have seen pretty recently, but I'll just show it to you again. This is a 75. These are a breeding group of Mylochromis plagiotania. They breed non-stop. At any given time there's usually 1 to 3 females holding. There is 3 males and 6 females in here. These rocks are the universal rocks I told you before, the stackables. And they're doing really fantastic in here. It seems like they breed legitimately every single day. Let's get closer so you can see some color. What's really cool about these Mylochromis is that they color up in an extremely small size. I mean, these males have quite a bit of color, and they're only 3.5 inches. They're not even 4 inches yet. and the females are barely even 3 inches, and they're already breeding like crazy. And here is the 125. This is the last tank I'll show today. I do have 2 more tanks in here, but they're currently empty, waiting for some fish to grow up. So in here I have my group of Rampochromis Esox yellowfin. They're a wild group. There's the male. They never, maybe if I push the light back we'll get to see them a little bit better. They just never stop swimming, so it's hard to ever get pictures or videos or anything of them. This is all you see, is them staring at you and trying to swim a million miles an hour. They have already bred once in here. In trying to strip the female, she did spit all the eggs, so I lost that group, which was, you know, a little bit disappointing, but it is encouraging that they're showing breeding behavior, and they're only, you know, 6.5 inches. So other than the Barracuda, I do have a young group of Mylochroma spilostachys, also bred in-house here. It's a mix of males and females from 3 3/4 to 4 1/4 inch. And I also have my Tyrannochromis macrostoma group in here. There's the male down there. So I had these guys in the 300 and they were breeding well in there, but then the male really got beat up for about a week, so I've kind of put them in here, and hopefully he'll calm down and heal back up, because he got beat up really badly over the course of a few hours while I was at work. So that had me a bit concerned for him. The good news is, though, is, you know, the 50 macrostoma fry that I do have, I'm going to try to bring some of those to adulthood and, you know, make sure I have some backups in case something bad would happen. That's the downside when you try to breed the rare fish, which a lot of you guys know who try to breed them, is sometimes if something happens and you lose a male or a female, they're really difficult to find and replace. So I always try to have 3 males of each species that I breed, just for that specific reason. But also in this 125, you can see I've got my tumbler. That's a lot more Mylochroma plagiotania fry, and I stripped those a week and a half after I got my first group from the plagiotania. So they breed non-stop, and they're going to be really high producers for me. So the plagiotania are kind of going to be replacing my Mylochroma spilostachys as far as me focusing on them. Not that I didn't love the spilostachys, it's just I've been breeding them for almost 2 years, and no matter how much you love a fish, there's so many out there, so many African cichlids that you can try if you're an African cichlid enthusiast, that it's really hard to stick with one thing for, you know, multiple years. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Again, remember, you can email me. My email is in the description of every video. You can always private message me on Instagram. You know, Adam C. Solo on Instagram. I try to respond to all those if I can. So don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll see you guys next time.